In a dramatic escalation of tensions along Europe's eastern flank, NATO forces confirmed that several Russian warplanes were intercepted after allegedly violating Estonian airspace. The incident occurred near the Baltic Sea, a region that has become a flashpoint in the ongoing standoff between Russia and the West. According to NATO officials, Allied fighter jets scrambled immediately after radar detected unidentified aircraft approaching Estonian territory without prior clearance. These jets, reportedly Russian military planes, were escorted away from the airspace after brief but tense aerial maneuvers. Estonia, one of the NATO member states bordering Russia, has long expressed concerns about Moscow's military activities near its borders. This latest episode highlights just how fragile security has become in the Baltic region, especially amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. The violation of Estonian airspace is being viewed as not only a provocation but also a direct test of NATO's readiness to defend its member states. Officials in Tallinn have condemned the intrusion, calling it a reckless act that undermines regional stability. NATO, in response, has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting the sovereignty of all its members, sending a clear warning that such actions will not go unanswered. Western analysts believe that Russia's actions may be part of a broader strategy to intimidate NATO allies and probe the limits of the alliance's response. These so-called airspace violations are not new. Over the past decade, Russian aircraft have frequently flown close to or into NATO-controlled skies, forcing intercept missions. However, the timing of this particular incident is critical, as the war in Ukraine continues to rage and Western nations intensify military support for Kyiv. Any miscalculation during such aerial encounters carries the risk of sparking a direct confrontation between Russia and NATO, something leaders on both sides have so far tried to avoid. NATO officials stressed that their response was measured and professional, ensuring the safety of all aircraft involved while demonstrating that Allied forces remain vigilant. At the same time, calls for calm have been issued to prevent escalation. Diplomats across Europe worry that repeated incidents of this nature could slowly erode the lines of communication and trust, leaving only military reactions as options. With tensions already at historic highs, the international community is closely watching how both NATO and Moscow navigate this volatile situation. For Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, the three Baltic states that joined NATO in 2004, incidents like this serve as stark reminders of the vulnerable geographic position. Citizens across these countries are becoming increasingly uneasy, fearing that they may become the next front line in a widening conflict. NATO has already stationed additional troops and equipment in the Baltics to reassure its allies, and the latest interception only strengthens the case for continued reinforcement. The Kremlin has not issued an official response to NATO's statement, but Russian media outlets have downplayed the incident, framing it as a routine military flight. Nevertheless, NATO has made it clear that any violation of Allied airspace will be met with a swift and firm response. This episode, while brief, underlines the fragile balance in Eastern Europe, a balance that could tip dangerously if such confrontations continue.